Hello, my name is HistoryWes. Welcome back to the Greenhouse SMP. This is the survival Minecraft server of Stina Rose, Patreon server for Patreons who support her. And as you can see, it's day 0 because time has ended on season 2 of the server. And I'm going to do a quick tour of my base, starting with this building, which is the first building I built here. And it leads down to the heart of my base. Got my smelter here, and this is a little flower farm. I actually slept in this room most often because I never built myself a real bedroom, although I had one built for me. Next we have our enchanting room, and then our villager trading hall, which was really useful. I got 2 villagers from a village in the desert and transported them here by Nether. Here's a map of my base. Anyway, so all these villagers here are technically brothers and sisters, I guess. And we lead down into the main storage area. This is the input for the storage system. And I built 3 modules of 60 items each. Each item had 4 chests of storage, and I expanded around the corner here a little bit when 1.17 came out. And minimal decoration. As you can see on the left, I've got and now on the right, samples of the items that are in each chest. I wanted to try and minimize the use of item frames to kind of cut lag, but I had to use it in certain cases. Here you see the redstone for everything. And we're just going to do a whirlwind tour of the base here. And as this is definitely my last time on the server this season, we're 2 days away from 1.18 coming out, so this server, like many others, will be resetting. This leads down to our mine, which we did a lot of mining, dug up a lot of diamonds. And I did something on this server which I have hardly ever done, and that is make at least a minimal attempt to make the mine look kind of nice, which I did with the support structures there made out of spruce. And here is a minecart base that leads a couple thousand blocks to my daughter Jeweled Rose's base. And if we come up this stairway, this was added, last thing added to the mine, and this brings us to the extreme southern end of the base. We built a little tower here to look out over the top of this hill at the swamp beyond, and this walkway officially ends where my base ends. And I did build out the walkway in all 4 cardinal directions as far as the extent of the base, which was 300 blocks from the center spot. Here is my stables, which I'm pretty proud of. I like this design, and it was just built on the fly. And leading this over this bridge, leading up here, is my mountain lodge right there, which was based on a design I found on internet. On the internet, I have no idea who designed it, but I like it. I never got the interior done, never furnished it. Flying over the other directions, we go to the east end of the base, and here is a little park that marks the end. I was going to do some custom trees there, and I never got around to it. But just down the hill from that park, we have this little covered bridge, and it leads back into the mountain. and then downward into our own personal stronghold and nether portal. Or I'm sorry, end portal. The rest of Stronghold. In the early days of the server, somebody actually went through here before I found it and got all the loot out of it. But once our bases were established, I found it and just had to add a couple of Eyes of Ender and had my own end portal. So coming back up and across our bridge brings us back to our walkway. I didn't get all the walkways done. As you can see, I've only got kind of edging on one side of this. And I had visions of adding lights here. You can see I have the basis for where the light posts are going to be here. Never got to that, at least as far out. On the right, this pink building is the Acacia Farm. And it is set up with a minecart underneath, so it picks up anything that drops and delivers them into this chest. And the same thing up here for oak inside of this. Right here's our fox-powered berry farm, which we have at, I mean, that's kind of a standard at all my Minecraft worlds. And on the right we have our villager-powered beet farm. He's in there enjoying a good think. Time's not actually moving. The time is turned off on the server, but the cat's awake. And here is a large sugarcane farm, and then these farms right in here are melon and pumpkin. And this is the melon, of course, green. As you can see, it's double-sided and multi-level. Same thing on the other side with the pumpkin. And this gray building with the blue trim here is a pumping station. It's actually just a hopper elevator that lifts all of those things that are produced in those farms up to the level of the storage warehouse. And here is a hedge maze, which my son Barbarian John built early on in the season. We had a big party here just to show off the base. Here's the cow farm. It's your typical cow crusher. And same thing on the other side here with pigs. And right across the street, here's the very first farm that I built, which was the wool farm. And the other side is a mess because we had a creeper explosion and I never got everything back together. I spent a long time getting the sheep back into their container. Over the right you see we have another village powered farm up there on the hill next to my dragon egg. On this side we've got more tree farms, this time with water that sweeps any dropped items down into the storage system. We've got the chocolate plants and a chicken cooker, which is not very functional. It's an Exuma design, and sadly it doesn't work as well as his old design. Here's my nether portal leading to my nether hub. This is one of the things on this server that I'm most proud of. It took a long while to build while fighting piglins at the same time, and all the different lights hanging from the ceiling at different distances. There are 4 doors, but only 3 lead somewhere. This one leads to my daughter's base. That one leads to one of the main hallways, and also to a couple of locations in between, like the desert village where I got the villagers. And this is the main entrance that I use to get back to Spawn Town. And it also connects to Nursing Geek's base. Her base is right there. River Sanctuary. And she did an amazing job. Her base is spectacular. I've still got my Halloween signs up, even though it's past Thanksgiving. And our sign, Thornberry Park. I think I was the first one on the server to give my base an official name. There's our Tardis, designed by the Blue Owl, as are all the signs on the server. Up here on the left, we have another of the very first builds. We're standing on top of a creeper farm, although it was originally designed to be a generic mob farm. We turned it into a creeper farm, and we've got a pretty minimal sugarcane farm there. We needed more in the end. This little cottage was built just as an AFK location. Sunrise Cottage. We continue north on our path. Here you can see I've got the street lights up. On the left there's our Chorus Fruit and Chorus Flower Farm. And if we go over the top of the hill here, we see the north, just like the south, ends in a swamp, and the end of this walkway again is the official end of our base. And if you make a right turn just before there, this takes you off in this direction, and halfway from here, this leads to Nursing Geek's base. Halfway there, my construction of the path ends and hers starts. And we worked out a point in between us and did half and half. And that was kind of fun. I think it would be fun to have, on a server like this, to have an overworld connection to all the bases. If everyone connected to the 2 that were closest to them, and that would be kind of cool. Of course, you wouldn't travel that way all the time. You usually go through the Nether, but it would be fun to just do it once in a while, just to get the look of the land. Again, here's Sunrise Cottage, and there's the sun. It's in the east, but as you see, it's not moving because time has stopped here on the server. I was just fortunate enough to get on before they shut it down, I suppose. Alright, going over the hill past our creeper farm. You get a good view on the right there of Westmore Tower. There we go. It is a replica, at least partial replica, of the Landmark Tower Hotel in Las Vegas. Here's our water tower. On the left and right here are our wheat and carrot farms. The potato farm is back over by the chicken cooker. You can see it in the distance there. And this little building is cactus on the bottom, and on the top is nether wart. I'm just going to go off the path here. This is another little pumping station to lift up, because right here is a bamboo farm, and you can see there. I don't really have a use for bamboo, but I decided I needed a farm, And here is the honey farm. And this type of honey farm, like the fox-powered berry farm, just produced too much. That's the big problem here. This was originally a flower farm, and I changed it to a nether mushroom farm, and then I changed it again to a moss block farm. And it looks like with time stopped, it's not working. But it did work, and then you would use this button to wash all the little goodies away. Yeah. Here's our friendly creeper in the boat. He's been here for a long time. And here's the lake house. And another server mate, Kyberg, did the interior decoration for this. Way better than anything I could have done. It looks beautiful. And I think we will just take to the air here. Off in this direction is a kind of a swampy lagoon area. And here is our aquarium, our aquatic research center. Just a little aquarium. Off to the very west end of the base, I built this tower. It's built out of warped wart and concrete, and I never did anything with it. And right in between this area is a little park that I built. This was like the last thing that was all forested, and I cleared this area over here to expand it, but I didn't finish. It's like off on the left there where you see the pumpkin and melon farm. That area was all reclaimed land. It was originally river, and then I filled it in. This is one of the larger buildings. This is the warped and crimson wart farm. And this building right next door is a birch farm on the right. But down here is, of course, the Westmore Tower. Again, designed on the landmark tower of Las Vegas, which was much bigger, but it still looks a lot like it. I'm pretty proud of similarity in the design. That was what I was going for. And there are two main levels up above, which have some great views, but which I never actually built anything in. You can see pretty much the whole expanse of the base. Next level up. And then there's a smaller level at the very top, right below a W made of diamonds that marks the top. So, great view. And here we're going to try and fly into our dirigible, our airship, which isn't hard to fly in. It's hard to fly in without killing yourself, at least for me. Okay, so here we are. We've got our elevator crane, and we've got our cargo of crimson wood already in there, and this just leads to the front of the airship, which would be full of air sacs. And the same thing, that door opposite leads to the back, but right here leads to the main crew compartment. We've got a little waiting room here with a couple of chairs, and then in here we have our stateroom, bedding for 4 people, storage, cooking facilities, etc. That leads back the way we came to the cargo, and then down this little stairs leads to the gondola and the control room. And you can look around pretty well, but not as good a view as from the tower. So I know we've missed a few things, but this is the majority of Thornberry Park, my base on the Greenhouse Season 2 server. And looking around, I have to say I'm pretty proud of it all. There you can see the wart farms. All right. And the park. Well, thanks for joining me here on this tour of the Greenhouse SMP. If you're interested in joining Season 3 of the SMP, become a Patreon supporter of Stina Rose. Information in the comments below. Thanks, and as always, keep on Minecrafting.